The Retail Ruse. There is one element at the very core of the direct selling myth where statistics are not exaggerated or concocted. Rather, hard data are avoided altogether. While the DSA issues an unverified and economically impossible estimated retail volume for the whole industry, each and every company in the industry shrinks in terror from a direct question of how much of its own products are retailed. No other data on the retail question, the amount purchased by consumers who are not also distributors, can be found among all the charts, graphs, and numbers on the impressive-looking website of the Direct Selling Association. This blackout on retail data, other than the mythical estimate for the whole industry, began in the mid-1990s when level of retailing emerged as a sine qua non for legality. The percentage of retail sales versus internal purchases and transfers by the distributors themselves inside the endless chain does not lend itself to fake numbers like the mathematically mysterious median income or the falsified estimated retail sales for the whole industry. A precise number offered by an individual company can put that company into a legal trap. The discovery that virtually no one sold a particular MLM's products or virtually none of its participants were making a profit from retailing could become the de facto red flag of pyramid fraud. What mostly drove the MLM industry to ban statistics altogether from the retailing fable was a 1996 federal court decision against the multi-level marketing company Omnitrition International, a spin-off of the older and larger MLM Herbalife, and founded by former Herbalife recruiters. Omnitrition became the target of a landmark class action lawsuit brought by distributors that led to a federal court ruling, famous for clarifying what retailing means under the law and when applied to multi-level marketing. As a legal determinant for multi-level marketing, the retail factor was planted in the law by the landmark Coscott decision 4 years before the Amway ruling. That decision permitted MLMs to compensate upline distributors, but only on, quote, consummated sales by downline distributors to persons who were not participants in the scheme. The Amway decision cited Coscott, but ignored the critical consummated requirement. Instead, it introduced the Amway rules, for which there was no precedent, as a substitute. Amway convinced Judge Timoney and FTC Commissioner Robert FitzPatrick that its business was all about retailing, not recruiting, despite its endless chain structure, sign-up fees, purchase quotas, bonuses paid to recruiters, and its claim that sales between people inside the chain were retail. Reality was soon replaced with the myth of millions of Fuller Brush-type salespeople and the miraculous resurrection of direct selling, thought by marketing experts to have quietly died of obsolescence. The myth of direct selling and the political protection enjoyed by MLM were already so entrenched that Amway blatantly included in its 1991 disclosure that only 18% of its goods were ever retailed to the consuming public. 64% were sold inside the chain to other distributors. And according to the disclosure, about as much was personally consumed, on average, as was retailed. Such revealing disclosures about the level of retailing soon disappeared after the Omnitrition court ruling. The potentially disastrous threat, legal and financial, that a true retail data point posed for MLMs was revealed in 2012 when a hedge fund manager publicly asked Herbalife's managers the terrifying question of how much. It caused a panic among shareholders. Herbalife stock instantly plunged 20%. As it turned out, Herbalife would not answer the question because it knew perfectly well that almost no Herbalife products are ever retailed. The FTC verified this after 2 years of study. Herbalife paid restitution of $200 million. Rather than address the retail question, which is actually about the claim to be direct selling, by using faked statistics, as is done with the income opportunity claim, MLMs now argue that all purchase transactions inside or out of the chain, including those made at wholesale price, yielding no retail profit margin, are retail. In a February 29, 2012 video interview with Dennis Berman of the Wall Street Journal, Amway's Doug DeVos, grandson of one of the founders, made the incredible assessment that there is no commercial distinction between retail and wholesale, or just buying and never selling the goods at all. When asked what percentage of products are sold to the general public, DeVos replied, "Ultimately, all of it goes to an end user. Even if somebody happens to be a distributor, they are their own best customer. So I would say 100%. Amway and other MLMs could possibly get away with telling reporters, few of whom had any sales or business experience, that there's no difference between non-negotiable wholesale transactions inside a sales chain and retail sales to the public driven by demand, pricing, quality, and brand appeal. The retail issue could not be so easily dismissed or covered up by government regulators. There are court rulings that defined retail, the Omnitrition ruling as one, and previous prosecutions based on the retail factor, which the FTC had to enforce. It is at this point where the collusion of government becomes an indispensable element of Ponzinomics. The definition of Ponzinomics adopted for this book includes, quote, "The societal spread of Ponzinomics is necessarily accompanied by government collusion," unquote. On their own, unsustainable and harmful systems, such as MLM, collapse quickly, are exposed and prosecuted, or they are driven out by citizen protest. When backed by government, however, they can persist many years and be normalized by propaganda and the inaction of law enforcement. The burden of carrying the big lie now shifts to those who hold the public trust. It requires the invention of a fable, not unlike the myth of magical unicorns, a creature never seen, yet widely believed to exist, and even spawned businesses that purported to sell part of unicorn horns, said to bring happiness and health.